Welcome to Friday Beyond Spotlights, where we invite leading minds and game changers with incomparable experience and unique knowledge to come on a light-hearted yet informative show. We aim to help business leaders and the wider community gain insights, grasp opportunities, see behind and beyond spotlights, so we can get the full picture, dream bigger, and achieve more together. I am your host for this episode. My name is Nick Chen, a lawyer and lawmaker. Friday Beyond Spotlights is honored and pleased to present to you our guest today, Kevin Yeung, GBSJP, the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. May I call you Kevin?
Sure.
Kevin, welcome onto Friday Beyond Spotlights. Kevin, as the head of the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau, you lead a diverse and important portfolio on a mission to enhance this beautiful international city's position as an East meets West Center for international cultural exchange under the National 14th Five-Year Plan, to further strengthen Hong Kong's leading position in the international arts market, to facilitate the development of arts, cultural and creative industries, and to increase the knowledge, appreciation and enjoyment of arts, culture, sports and tourism. We will not have enough time to discuss all of this on the show today, so I hope to invite you back for another time. Would you mind if I suggest we focus our discussions today on the first two areas, namely culture and sports?
Of course, Nick. But actually, the culture, sports, and tourism are interrelated to each other. And that is the reason why, in this term of government, we decided to have a new culture, sports, and tourism bureau. As you can see, culture and tourism are very related because there are a lot of cultural events or sports events that could attract tourists coming to Hong Kong. At the same time, with the coming of the tourists, they also bring along their culture and their spirit into Hong Kong. And for example, you pick this restaurant. You have picked a very nice place for the interview.
Thank you.
You pick this restaurant. It's a restaurant inside the Ocean Park. We have, in this restaurant, we serve Chinese cuisine. But at the same time, you can see we have very nice environment here. We build in the concept of conservation and education. And so in Hong Kong, we sort of have fusion of different concepts together. And that is this spirit that we have culture, sports, and tourism together. But as you say, maybe we focus on culture and sports today.
Thank you, Kevin. How is Hong Kong doing as an East meets West Center for international cultural exchange?
So Hong Kong is a place where the East meet the West. And the sort of the fusions together are doing in a very nice way. And in Hong Kong, you can both the Chinese tradition as well as the Western culture, you can find it everywhere in Hong Kong, in different places, and even in the art scenery, you have different performances with like Cantonese operas, and at the same time you have very Western like the Philharmonic. So we have a lot of things happening, and it's the government or the Central People's Government's decisions to make Hong Kong as the East meets West hub for international cultural exchange. Of course, it's looking at the background and also our very specific characteristic of our culture. And in Hong Kong, there is a lot of happening. In the past few weeks, we see that, for example, the Vienna Philharmonic has made a very good performance in Hong Kong. They actually flew to Hong Kong, and it's a wonderful performance. And we also have a lot of different cultural events going on, and it's very exciting.
Kevin, what about the sports scene?
Talking about performance of our elite athletes, we have done very well at the Tokyo Olympics. We have 6 medals with 1 gold. And a lot of people during that time, I think you could remember, a lot of people are watching the television every day just to keep themselves abreast of what's happening at the Olympic Games. And also, and there are a lot of major events also happening in Hong Kong. Not too long ago, there's the Hong Kong Master for the snookers, and our athletics has done very well. And also we have the Rugby Sevens, we have the Squash Open, Golf Open, and these will make Hong Kong a very key events city in the sports area for the rest of the world. And I'm sure that people all over the world will watch these games happening in Hong Kong.
I remember the World Masters snooker with a world record crowd of how many people?
Exactly, that's a 8,000 audience
Watching a game of
watching
snooker.
the game
It's amazing.
live on site.
Wow.
It's amazing because I think usually for snooker's game, it's just not too many people. They are usually doing broadcasting instead of watching live.
That's
but
true.
Yeah, that's an achievement.
So with all that support, how did he do?
Well, they do very well. I think people are enjoying, and I can see that.
The perfect game.
Exactly. I think it's with the people's support. Ethics has done 147, which is a perfect game.
Fantastic. Kevin, are talents and investors being drawn to Hong Kong for the base of operations for the region and beyond? Maybe could you share with us some national or local policies support available to support fast-growing arts, cultural and creative industries in Hong Kong?
Well, there's a lot of policy supporting the arts and culture. Well, just to cite a few examples, in the latest policy address by the chief executive, I mentioned about Art Mega Fund, which will be used to fund some of the major arts and cultural events in Hong Kong, such as maybe something like the Art Basel, which happens in March every year in Hong Kong. And also, we are doing a lot to support the training of talents and also the support for the talent who are willing to join the art and cultural industry, such as supports for the graduate from the Hong Kong APA, Performing Arts Academy.
Yes.
And we are also supporting some new performing arts group so that they can stage their performance easier in Hong Kong. And one very important things that we have to look at is about the development in the GBA, the Greater Bay Area. There are lots of opportunities for the arts performing groups or even for individuals to develop their career or to do their performances in the cities in the Greater Bay Area, which is very attractive to many.
11 cities, almost 90 million people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Huge audience.
Yeah. And in fact, before the pandemic, actually a lot of our performing group are actually doing a lot of shows and performance in the cities in the Greater Bay Area. And this presents very good opportunities for their groups and for the people here.
Indeed. Kevin, what are the opportunities and challenges faced by the arts, culture and sports industries?
Our determinations to make Hong Kong as the East meets West hub for international cultural exchange, that will present a lot of opportunities for the art and cultural sector here. And we are planning to put in more policy and also more resources in this area. One of the major challenges, of course, is because of the pandemic that restricts some people's flow, and that may hinder a bit for the rapid development of our art and cultural sector. But I'm sure that as the pandemic, will go away with the support of our citizens here, everyone is trying hard to control the virus, and then we will be able to welcome our tourists, visitors, and arts performing groups all over the world, and we are able to travel overseas and bring our cultures to the places there.
How can we work together to transform from an activity-based focus to fostering more of a sustainable, profit-making industries in arts, culture, and sports?
We would like the arts and cultural sector to be sustainable and self-supported. And that's why in our policy address, we are moving towards that direction, is to make sure that they will develop as an industry that can sustain itself and also bring economic values to the community as a whole. For example, I will be chairing a culture committee or culture commission, the exact name to be decided, who will study the future of how to make our arts and culture and creative industry a real sustainable industry. That's something that we have to map out. And we hope that with the support of the community and the sector, we will be able to do that.
That's wonderful. Kevin, what advice would you give to young people who wish to enter into the art, culture, and sports industry, or maybe also advice for professionals, investors, interested in the space?
I think the first criteria is they have to like it. They have to like and enjoy working in the arts and cultural sector.
The passion.
The passion. And of course, they have to be hardworking. Very important is also to understand your market, including the mainland market. Hong Kong market, of course, we welcome our younger generations to stay in Hong Kong and to pursue their career. But at the same time, there is a wider market in the Greater Bay Area, in the mainland. And they have to understand the market there, and then they make the decision whether they would try the mainland market and the Hong Kong market, or both at the same time. So I think for the younger generation, and for example, for the professional and also the investors, of course, they have to understand Hong Kong, and at the same time, they have to understand the Greater Bay Area and the mainland, and then find the good opportunities there.
Thank you, Kevin. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Friday Beyond Spotlights. We have with us today Mr. Kevin Yeung, GBSJP, the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. This year marks his 30th year in public office, serving the people, the city and the country, including as Secretary for Education and solving problems and delivering great results in other capacities in the Food and Health Bureau, the Home Affairs Bureau, the Kowloon City District Office, and the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Sydney. Before dedicating a life in public service, Kevin has worked in the private sector for 7 years. Who is Kevin behind the spotlights? Who or what defining moment in his life shaped him into who he is today? We'll get to learn more today. In this show and tell segment, we shall go behind and beyond glaring spotlights as our special guest, Kevin, shows us an item that has a special meaning, significance in his life and shows his fierce, strong, lion rock spirit. Let's travel back in time perhaps. Kevin, did you bring along that special item?
This upcycle statue actually reminds me that in my post, I have to walk in the community, among the people, communicate with them, listen to what they have to say in order to do my job. And so it's keep me going on and serving the people. And so I like this very much.
That's great. Can I see it?
Sure.
So you are working, walking, communicating all at the same time. That's terrific.
That is also the major part of my work. My job, although I have to do a lot of paperwork at the same time, but most of my job requirement actually asks me to go out, to meet people, to listen to them, and to serve them. That's the essence of my job.
This looks like to be made out of iron. I know there's a Chinese idiom that says, when people are stressed out, you walk all the mountain until you worn out your iron shoes. But eventually, you find what you're looking for just right underneath you. You have a work-life balance, as you said.
That's true. We have to find the right work-life balance. I always emphasize that when I talk to my colleagues during some celebration, Christmas or New Year, and I always remind them to spend time with their family. I think that's very important. At the end of the day, when you retire, it's not the work that accompany you, it's the family that you are going to spend the rest of your life. And it's better for you to spend time with them early rather than late.
Was there someone in your life that inspired you to be who you are today?
Every people or every person I meet in the past actually has some influence on me. My parents, of course, they show me that we have to work hard. My friend taught me how to being a nice person and how to work as a team and to communicate. And my colleagues also helped me to learn more, and also how to work together nicely, and also work together with a common goal. So I think every person, as I go along in my life, they taught me something.
Travel together,
Yeah.
even in the rain.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Were there times in your life where the going got really tough? You just felt like you want to stop there and, take it easier in life?
Everyone has some tough times during their career and during their life. But I must say that in the past few years, I and maybe many people in Hong Kong has gone through a very tough time in the past few years, from the 2019, the riots, and also the pandemic in the past few years. But I think one thing that keep me to move on and to continues to try my best is when you are in that position at that time, you just have to do it. Because I think it's you are chosen in some way to be in that position at that time, then you have to do it. It's for you to tackle the problems, to try your best, to try to help Hong Kong to solve the problem. And that just keep me going on.
Can you help visitors from around the world understand what is the Lion Rock spirit?
I think the Hong Kong spirit is in our culture. So we need to bring our culture to overseas and let them see it through maybe some performances, through our visual arts, or through the films or the movies, and also maybe the songs and everything. I think, but the most effective way for them to understand is to come to visit Hong Kong. And then they can observe, they can see the Hong Kong people working, enjoying, and the can-do spirit, they can easily feel it.
Kevin, you were doing great in an accounting firm in the private sector. Or was there a calling that caused you to leave the private sector to join the public sector?
Well, I've been working in the accounting field for 7 years. I could not say doing very successful or not, because it's just the junior years for 7 years in a career. It's not a very long time. But after a few years, I worked in the audit firm for a few years, and then I worked in a manufacturing company for a few years. And by the end of the 7 years, I just have a feeling that I have done quite a fair bit about a company. I know how the accounting system works. I know how the manufacturing system works, something like that. And then I just feel that I would like to try something new. And I would like to try something that could have a greater impact on the society. That's why I joined the government.
Kevin, how would you, maybe at a high level, explain what is the essence of Hong Kong or Hong Kong spirit to our tourists?
Wow, that's a very good question. I think Hong Kong people are very hardworking. We have a can-do spirit. There's nothing that is impossible to us. We work very hard, and at the same time we play very hard. And Hong Kong is a non-stop city. Well, you 24 hours you can still find places to eat, even at small hours of the day. You have different entertainment. At the same time, you see people working very hard, and also we are very flexible. We just adapt ourselves according to the environment to overcome the difficulties. And during the pandemic, it's very difficult for everyone. We all, in some ways, suffer from the pandemic one way or the other. But at the same time, we really showcase that we are flexible, we are willing to try hard. And at the end of the day, I believe we will come out from the pandemic very well. And we will once again make Hong Kong shine again.
So resilience, adaptability, creativity.
Yeah, exactly.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin, as we reflect on the past, introspectively look at how Hong Kong or the world is today, engage into the future, what's in store for us?
Well, I think there will be a lot for us in Hong Kong in the future. We have great opportunities both for career and also for our life. We will be our life will be improving, I think, under the leadership of our new chief executive. And our target is to make our people happier in the coming years. And I'm sure that this will happen.
Wonderful. Well, now we come to a very exciting segment where we get up close and personal with our special guest, Kevin. Kevin, I'm going to fire some rapid fire questions at you. There's no right or wrong answer. Just maybe say what comes to your mind.
Sure. I will try my best.
What is your favorite art form?
Drama.
What is your favorite comfort food?
Chinese noodle in soup.
Favorite sports?
Chinese martial arts.
Last book you've read?
The Little Prince.
Your first job?
Accountant.
Where would you bring new visitors to Hong Kong?
Ocean Park.
A talent you wish you had?
Language skill.
Your proudest moments?
The moment I knew I got admitted to the university.
The nicest thing someone has said to you?
You saved my life.
What was the last thing you searched online?
News.
What would be the title of your autobiography?
A life with no regret.
What are the qualities you admire most about your parents?
Hardworking.
What is your biggest fear?
That you seems to fear nothing.
Who do you admire?
Yeung Yun-Hung, because he is a very renowned scholar.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
To be yourself.
What aspect of the Chinese culture do you love the most and why?
The family value, because it brings the family members together, and it's the bonding that is very important.
What legacy do you wish to leave behind?
That Hong Kong will become a very successful East-West hub for international cultural exchanges.
How will Hong Kong look in 5 years?
It will be a happier place than today.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, can you share with us your suggestions or well wishes for Hong Kong?
I wish everyone in Hong Kong a very enjoyable and very happy life in the coming years.
Thank you for joining us on Friday Beyond Spotlights. See you next time. Kevin, it's so great to see Panda up close today.
Yes.
Panda is the most powerful symbol in the world, representing peace, love, and animal conservation.
Exactly. That's why our country has sent Panda to all over the world as ambassador. And people at these places are rushing to see our ambassadors there.
Well, you have a personalized ambassador right here.
Well, thank you very much. Friends from all over the world, please come to Ocean Park to visit us and to visit our ambassador here.